Before time had a name, there was nothing on earth but endless sea. In the depths of the ocean there lived a fearsome sea monster called Leviathan. Leviathan was a huge beast that owned everything tangible, with razor-sharp teeth and tentacles that could crush the darkest mountains. For centuries, Leviathan terrorized the sea, swallowing ships and throwing the sailors without mercy. One day, Leviathan was destroying a village very cultural to the religion of the Sari. Leviathan destroyed everything in his path until he hit an altar of an ancient goddess of its religion, called Kale. When destroying this altar, a ball of fire emerged from it, hitting on Leviathan and driving away the beast. Sadly, the village was being completely destroyed, and all the inhabitants of the village had been killed, or so it was thought, until in the distance a baby was seen floating in the waves, wrapping in seaweed and clinging to a piece of driftwood. It had been found by sailors from neighboring villages who raised their own son. They named him Kai, which means son of Kale in their language. The Condensing all decided to leave the child to the sailors, but always in their care. But no one can see her but Kai, and she gives him a hint of her powers. As Kai grew up, he became fascinated by the sea and its old mysteries. He spent his days driving into the waves, swimming with the fish, and exploring the nooks and crannies of the ocean floor. He learned to hold his breath for 5 minutes at a time and navigate by the star's night. He learned new tricks with his powers, like fireballs, which would impress by the bragging of the older sailors. But as much as he loved the sea, Kai knew it was not a safe place. He had learned stories of Leviathan destroying the grove. One day, Leviathan returned and attacked Kai's boat. The boat was destroyed in seconds. The gun skill was watching and did not interfere to see Kai in action. But at the moment of truth, being Leviathan in front of Kai, he swept away, leaving those who he had loved him die. Seeing the goddess was disappointed, but rushed to the rescue in her true form. The goddess was weakened for giving part of her powers to Kai, but despite this, she fought the Leviathan. Where after an arduous fight, the goddess managed to chase the Leviathan away, causing him to lose an eye, but also losing her life in the attempt. Kai, when he saw how gravely in the goddess he was, he ran to help her. The goddess only smiled at him and passed away. Kai, devastated by the loss of the goddess, helped the sailors and rejected his powers because he did not deserve them. Years passed, and Kai became a strong man, but resigned to his cowardice. So determined to make amends of his mistake, he set out in search of Leviathan. For weeks, he sailed to the sea, battling storms and fighting sea creatures along the way. Finally, he saw a monster on the horizon, its amazing form rising to the waves like a dark mountain. Kai steered his boat closer and closer until he faced to face with the Leviathan. The monster roared and cut him with his tentacles, but Kai was ready, and more importantly, he knew how the courage to respond. Fighting two warriors, and only with his bare hands, but his underside of the Kai Leviathan was faster and pierced Kai's abdomen with one of its breaks on his tentacles. The Leviathan left Kai fall to the bottom to the sea and leap. Kai woke up and I felt a burning flame that lifted him to the sky. It was the goddess in her spiritual form which entered in Kai's heart. Kai grew wings of fire and a sword called the Beast Killer. Kai arrived at the village in a ball of fire to where the Leviathan was hidden to destroy one more village. Leviathan was very strong, but Kai's will was stronger. Kai took of his power, divided into the water, and swam towards Leviathan's open mouth with all his might, and with one clean motion he thrust his spear to the monster's soft belly, piercing its heart. Leviathan flailed and writhed in agony and finally died. It is believed that Kai goes away where the sea ends and is waiting to be eaten again by the humanity. The day there is a great monster again, Kai will be there.